Hello, hello. I am going to share with you a really powerful question that you can ask to kind of break through the barriers between you and your money, you and your wealth creation, you and your abundance and your prosperity. So, by asking questions, we elicit solutions and answers that are deeply hidden in our subconscious mind that otherwise aren't really available to us. I describe asking questions as the analogy that I give, I always teach analogies, is that you're walking down a deep, long tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel, there's a screen with a movie playing on it. And that movie is projected by your brain and your perceptions of what is possible for you. When you ask questions, there are no doors or windows. It's just a long, long, long dark tunnel, and then at the end screen, there's your projection of what your life is gonna be, what it's possible, what you're living now. When you ask questions, it's like putting windows and doors down the hallway. And you just continue to live your life walking down the hallway. But as you pass these doors and windows, new awarenesses, new perceptions, new light shines into your perception of what's possible, right? And so every time you pass a window or a door and this new information is able to land in your conscious mind, the movie screen at the end of this long tunnel can change. Okay, so I have found one question that really, really facilitates growth in myself and begins to illuminate for me what my blocks are, illuminates for me what my habits are, illuminates for me where I'm not allowing and receiving in regards to a certain goal. Okay, so we're going to talk money today because money's one of my wheelhouses. So the question that you're going to ask, and I encourage you to write this down, and this is not my question. I don't take credit for it. This is something I heard in the many, access consciousness and workshops or whatever, somewhere along the road. I was the receiver of this question, and I love it. So it is, what have I been unwilling? I'll say it just first and then I'll break it down. What have I been unwilling to be, do, receive, and perceive that if I were willing to be, do, receive, and perceive it, would bring me everything I desire, or would heal my body, or in this case, would bring me more money? Right? So it's like you can tag on at the end whatever it is that your goal is. So let's dissect that. Okay, what have I been unwilling? All right, in our subconscious mind, there's a lot of stuff that our our lower self doesn't want to let in. Like, I'm afraid of success, I'm afraid of failure, I'm afraid of visibility. Right? What have I been unwilling to be? So what have you been unwilling to be? Like, embody, right? Now, I teach my women to embody the essence of wealth. How does a wealthy woman go through her day? How does she sit down at her desk? What kind of expectations does she have for the outcomes of her actions, right? That woman has a really different expectation and beingness than what you or your higher, ego mind is going to have. So, what have I been unwilling to be, do? There's a lot of stuff that you're unwilling to do for a variety of reasons that if you were willing to do it would change everything. For so many women that I work with, I'm helping them move through their fears of marketing, their fears of visibility, their fears of speaking, right? So what have I been unwilling to be, do, receive? Now this is key, guys, because when you're working with the law of attraction, you're doing your affirmations, you're doing your visualizations, and guess what, gang? If you're not willing to receive, then you feel all this pressure because the universe source is trying to deliver things to you and you're not open to receiving it on some subconscious level, right? So we want you to align with receiving and perceiving. What have I been unwilling to be, do, receive, and perceive? Perceive. Like, oh, new awarenesses. Like, oh, I can perceive something differently, right? So those four things, being, doing, receiving, and perceiving, when you ask a question, what have I been unwilling to do that if I were willing to do these things would bring me everything I desire? So this is how I roll. I encourage you to ask that question all day for a week. Use that as your singular mantra. Single focus, single focus, single focus. You will move a lot of molecules. You will have a lot of epiphanies. You will have a lot of new awarenesses of how you roll, and you will begin to see yourself rolling differently. You will begin to see yourself aligning more, because what happens is when you ask your brain a question, you have a reticular activating system inside your brain that wants to find the solution. It's like a Labrador retriever, obsessive compulsive Labrador retriever, who wants to bring you back the stick that you fetch. And the stick that you are throwing for the Labrador retriever is this question. What am I been unwilling to be, do, receive, and perceive that if I were willing to be, do, receive, and perceive it, would bring me everything that I desire, would increase my income, would, 10x my money, would build a portfolio for me, like whatever it is, right? What do you want? What are your goals with your money? Bring me more clients, bring me more opportunities, right? All of these things. So play with that. Write it down, put it on sticky notes all over the frickin' place. And for 1 week, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. Do it for 7 days, all day long. What have I been unwilling to be, do, receive, and perceive? Don't answer the question. This is key. I teach a lot of questions. Never, never, never answer your question. You let your subconscious mind and your reticular activating system start to bring into your logical conscious mind the answer to that question. Because if you try to answer it, you're going to fuck it up. Because that's what we do. Our ego is going to mess it up, right? So get your ego out of the way. Just ask the question and let source, higher consciousness, the unicorn in the sky, your heart answer, and you will be amazed. So I'm Bambi Thompson. I'm a brain coach for anxiety transformation and success acceleration, and I help entrepreneurial women break through the barriers in their belief systems, their habits, and their ways of being so that they can strategically work with the law of attraction and make their success more accessible, more quickly, with more ease, and more fun. And if you love this stuff, please, please subscribe to my channel, and you might want to grab my free Momentum Accelerator Success Kit in the link below. It will get you going, it'll get you moving, and it will help you break through some of your barriers to your wealth and your abundance.